I was talking to a friend about how I look at friendships and the dynamic because I like to dissect things very, very specifically and look at the smallest working pieces of how any topic that I'm interested works, and something that I'm interested in is socialization, like communication, body skills, all that type of stuff. And it made me realize that, okay, sure, I should make a video because this is something that I've actually struggled with quite a bit. When I was younger, I was the type of person who would be terrified to order food, like from a waiter. I couldn't go up and like ask anyone anything. I would know the answer to questions in school, and I wouldn't raise my hand just because I was scared of the 0.001% chance that it was wrong, like feeling dumb or being made fun of or feeling awkward or whatever. And I was scared to even say the answer because I had zero social confidence whatsoever. A step that I took in beating that fear was a like mini challenge that I did. And it was talk to 10 people, preferably unique people, so people I've never spoken to, every single day. And a talk can be going up and saying, "Hey, how are you? Good morning. I like your shirt. I like your shoes." Oh, that one band, like, that's cool. They have like a World Cup shirt on right now. The World Cups are going on. They have a World Cup shirt on. Be like, "Oh, what team are you rooting for?" "Oh, Argentina." "Me too, bro." Fist bump, whatever. It doesn't have to be big, but I did this where I talked to between like 10 and 20 people, like unique people, not just like, oh, my best friend and then like my girlfriend and then like my friends I normally hang out with. Like, no, I completely left them out of the room. Like, people who were in my immediate circle were ignored. I would go out and talk to mostly new people. Maybe I'd only talked to them like a couple other times before, whatever. And I did that every day for over a year, about a year. The stat that I looked at was most people talk to between 3 and 5,000 people in 10 years. I talked to, if I was consistent with my 10 to 20 new people every single day, which I very, very much was, I talked to that amount of people in a year. So I did 10 times the amount of socialization volume that most people do. So I'm very confident in saying that I can start conversations, I can talk to people, whatever. Now I had to learn past this point, okay, how do I turn these very cold relationships, so we're going from cold to warm here, these very cold relationships into warm relationships. So I'm able to go up to this person, I'm able to say hi, and maybe I'm able to have a conversation, but I'm not able to hang out with them, and they seem kind of cool, and I can't like make them laugh like hysterically yet, and they don't really make me laugh. Like, I think if you know any person for long enough, if you don't have a couple of belly laughs here and there, like to where you can't breathe, you're just unfunny, because most people are funny enough to make jokes to where you're laughing hysterically. I was like, okay, how do I change these cold relationships to warm relationships? So I did a ton of deep diving, and I realized that it's this push and pull dynamic. And I think one of the biggest things that you can do is just give to people. And you might be thinking, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean, give? Does it mean give money? Does it mean like give them like compliments, whatever? It's all of the above. There's different archetypes of people, and a lot of people get upset when I say this. Like, you have the swaggy black guy. That's a type of person that you can visualize in your head. You have the old weird guy. That's a visualization that you can have in your head. You have the smart Asian kid. That's a visualization you have in your head. There's similar personality types, and that doesn't mean everyone's the same. That's not meaning that you're like combining people or whatever, but you have similar people that exist in tandem together. And after talking to a bunch of people, you start to realize what their wants and needs are. And based on the type of person that you are, or that they are, you can relate to them. And there's a couple different ways, I work in an Italian restaurant. I am speaking like a retard. Anyways, there's a couple different ways that you can give to them. You can be relatable to them. So for example, you might have a friend that you only go to the gym with and only talk to gym stuff about. That's completely fine. That's a perfectly fine friendship. But if you're like, hey, I'm having money trouble right now, or hey, my mental health hasn't been the best recently, whatever, you might not be able to come up to him about that. You might have a friend who is very, 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 very stand-up person, like awesome person. Like, you can call and be like, hey, wife and kids are at home. I'm not going to be here for like a couple of days. Can you just make sure like somebody takes garbage out for them, or like brings the bins, or oh, I have this order coming in and the boxes should be heavy, can you like bring it in for them? It should come at like 2 p.m., whatever. You can ask him those things, but if you bring up religion with him, or back to the previous example, if you bring up gym or exercise or whatever, he's having a complete snooze fest. You have different friends for different purposes, and I think this is something that people get wronged a lot of the time, is they'll try and find friends who are completely well-rounded. No, find friends who are really good in different directions. So someone who's an awesome, spectacular person, then you have someone who's amazing in the gym and maybe a fitness trainer or has coached athletes. Then you have like the friend who's a hustler and he makes tons of money and he's like always on it. He's like 20-year-old, 30-year-old, and he's like a millionaire. He's fucking on his shit financially. Then you have the friend who has like a very good heart. Like he's not really good at anything, but he's always been there for you. He's texts you randomly asking how you are. He says he was thinking about you. He asks you how your new business or interest or hobby is going. And you didn't even tell him. You posted it on your Instagram story. You had told a mutual friend and they had brought it up because you got talked about for a minute. Everybody has a different purpose. The hustler guy probably isn't going to message you about whatever hobby you have. Your friend who messages you about whatever hobby you have probably isn't going to talk to you about making tons of money. They're just different people. So finding how you can benefit each person, each type of person, based on what it is that they're interested in, what it is that they like or know or whatever, finding something that is mutual between you two is fine. And a lot of people would say, oh, well, that person's so much better than me at this thing, so therefore they won't want to talk to me. That's not true. For me, I'm very into fitness. I've coached people, like I have awesome results, whatever. People come up to me all of the time asking me for fitness advice in person. I have tons of friends who will just message me randomly, guys, girls, whatever. And when they come up, they're not talking from an authoritative perspective. They're asking questions. And that's why me, as somebody who's better at them in this thing, will respond to them. I have a friend who's the 20-year-old like hustler who's making tons of money, doing all that stuff, who I have none of that. And I'm going to him and I'm saying, okay, what do I do? And the reason why that works is because I'm coming from a student perspective. I'm asking questions and I'm showing them the inputs I did. They give me advice and then I tell them what I did with the advice and then what happened. And they'll either go, that's awesome, you should have did this, that's awesome, this happened, that's awesome, whatever. People are happy who are good at things to help people who aren't good at things, as long as the person who isn't good at the thing is listening. Now, there's things that you relate on, but there's things that you don't relate on. So, for example, my girlfriend, when we first got together, and I say when we first got together, she still is, she's extremely interested in music. And she has a YouTube channel. She records songs, like much more views than I do on my videos. Like, she is amazing at music. She's competed, whatever. I know nothing about music, but being with her, I got better at singing. I'm not going to sing for you. I know you were hoping that I would, but I got better. I'm still not good, but I got better just because I'm around somebody who's really good at singing and really wants to talk about singing all of the time. Me, I'm into a lot of like very analytical stuff. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm very interested in language. I'm very interested in body language. I'm very interested in how people work and sales and all of these things. She's become more interested. Her language has changed completely since being with me because she looked at it and went, okay, this stuff works, how he's talking makes sense. It's easier to communicate when I listen to him. And also I'm around him all the fucking time, so I can ask questions and I can talk to him about ideas that I have. And I've learned from her just as she's learned from me because we have two people instead of one. There's things that are unrelated, but because you hang out with the person due to other related interests, so me and her are into some same stuff, have a lot of very, very similar values. I don't think that with your partner you have to have necessarily like same interests, but I do think that you need to at least like each other, and like and love are separate for me. You need to at least like each other, and you at least need to have an idea of where you want your life to go in the future. I have more, if we're looking at each emotion like singularity, I'll have more fun with my friends than I will my partner. But I experience love, I experience joy, I experience gratefulness, and I'm just like more bubbly and like boyish around my girlfriend because that's the emotions that I get from her. But I don't have related interests, so maybe the jokes aren't as funny or they aren't as relatable or whatever. Granted, my girlfriend's fucking hilarious, so even then, I'm just talking about maybe more generally. But you have to separate these categories. Back to my other point, you can have things that are unrelated, but you can merge what you to relate on based on your other related things. So, example, me and my friend are into fitness. He's very, very good at making money. I have an interest to it, but I'm not good at it. And he has an interest in making more friends or having better communication skills. And that's something that I'm good at. We can mutually benefit each other on a lateral basis. So we can have skill here, and we can come together and realize that, okay, we have things that we can help each other with. Another thing is, this is kind of similar to what I just talked about, but I'm going to give a few different examples, is knowledge that benefits someone in the moment. Let's say somebody is going through a horrible breakup. Let's say you've known someone for a couple of months and they break up with their girl and they're just devastated. Your day-to-day value that you give isn't talking about a breakup that you had. That would be fucking annoying. But if you go, hey, similar thing happened to me, this is how I went through it and I felt better, maybe it'll help you. Maybe it offers them a different perspective, a different viewpoint. It gives them things to do that keep their mind off the breakup. Or maybe your advice is keep your mind on the breakup because that's what your body wants right now. And you're going to be thinking about it and pushing it down for years to come. And it's going to fuck you up in later relationships. Maybe that's your advice. And then they go, oh, okay, this helped me. And then they like you more because they had a very traumatic thing that you helped them through. And a lot of people want like strong friendships quickly. Friendships take a long time. It takes months, years, and you can speed them up based on the type of value you provide, how lucky you get with where you can provide value, whatever. But like, it takes a long time. I'm going to move my phone because I'm going to grab my coffee. It's been done for a minute. But providing value in different ways is very important. I have a friend who has been horrible at getting into relationships for basically his entire adult life. When he was in high school, he had a girl who was unfaithful to him, and there's a bunch of stuff that happened. And yeah, I'm not going to go into detail on any of it because it's none of my business to be sharing. But basically, his girlfriend for 5 years sucked a lot. Anyways, he was talking to me about that, and there's been this girl he's talking to for maybe the past year, and he really likes her. He thinks she's beautiful. He thinks she's sweet. She hasn't been with anyone. She was in one relationship and it lasted 10 years, and everything is like fine. She's been single. She's only talked to him really, and yada, yada, yada. The first like 6-8 months of or maybe it's been 2 years, like the first year of them knowing each other, she didn't even talk to him, and they worked in the same place because she thought that like he'd be flirting with her, try to, or whatever. And then later she kind of opened up to him a little bit more. Great. He's been struggling trying to find out how to get with this girl because he wants to, but he's openly said like he's terrified to because of what happened before. And he fully admits like he's traumatized, like no questions about it. And he said he's brought this up to other people and he hasn't really gotten any good advice. Me and him talked for maybe an hour. He was at my house. We were arm wrestling each other. And I had spit some game and I was like, yo, like you need to do this thing. Like it's going to keep you right. It's going to keep you from doing stupid shit. He's like, oh, well, I won't have time for other things. And I was like, where are you going right now? And he's like, well, he was at my house. I'm like, where are you going right now? He's like, oh, well, I'm about to go to my girlfriend's house, and or that girl's house, not his girlfriend. But he's like, I'm about to go to that girl's house. We're going to go like to a park or whatever. I'm going to take her. And I'm like, you'd have the same amount of time and you'd be hanging out with her the same amount. And he's like, oh, breaking beliefs. You have to, if you want to change someone's behavior, you need to break their beliefs around the behavior, because the reason why they're not doing the thing is because they don't have a strong enough reason to. If I was to put a gun to your mother's head, and this is an example, don't get pissed off. I fucking hate when people do these examples, but I already said it. If I'm like, if you don't do push-ups every single day, if you miss a single day of doing push-ups, I'm going to shoot your mom. You'd be doing push-ups every single day for the rest of your life, and you wouldn't miss a day. And you log it and you do this weird convoluted thing to figure out, because you don't want your mom to die. Maybe you do, but you should know what I mean if you do want your mom to die. You know the example. Anyways, people need a why, and you need to break beliefs. If I made you believe wholeheartedly that your mom would not be safe if you didn't do push-ups, you would do push-ups. But if I said, well, your mom's going to be fine, like, I let her go, whatever, I give you the fucking gun, whatever the example is, and I'm like, she'll be fine, don't worry about it, you don't need to do push-ups anymore, it's cool. You might miss some days after a while, and you might still do it because you're fucking traumatized, but you might miss some days. Back to the original example of the first story. I'm telling this guy he should get with this girl, and I'm telling him exactly what to say, exactly what to do, and I'm like, be honest with her. Like, say you are traumatized. Don't like be a bitch about it, but be like, look, I had a really, really bad experience in the past. It messed me up for a while. I really like you. I really love you on a personal level. I find it fucking weird. You're not allowed to say I love you to someone before like a while of dating them. You can be friends with someone and say that I love you, and it doesn't even have to be like on an intimate way. I don't think love by itself is innately like sexual in any kind of way. You can have a wife that you love that for whatever reason you're not attracted to anymore, and you should work on that because that's because of like emotional issues. But you can love your partner very much and not be attracted to them. You can love your partner very much and not fucking like them. Love has nothing to do with like sexuality. So this is me trying to break your belief around that, just because I give this example, and even he looked at me like, eh? And I'm like, dude, you fucking love this girl. You talk about her consistently, like you want to go see her. Like that doesn't mean like fucking you want to marry her or whatever. Just like, yeah, I love you, whatever. I tell him to do all of this. He actually did it for the first time, and I was the only one who could convince him to do this thing. He's talked to numerous other people about this, and in part it's me tooting my own horn. But also, on back to the example of like relationships, when he had got with her, he had messaged me and he had told me like, oh yeah, like it went good, like I appreciate you, whatever. He texts me out of the blue more often now. And a lot of people were like, this is the thing that a lot of people dislike about friendships and social skills or whatever, like something that people struggle with, is that they wish their friends texted them more and set up hangouts and all that stuff more often. But they don't. My friend now, he texted me occasionally before, very often, normally be me reaching out. I met him maybe like 2 months ago. But now he reaches out to me more often. And I'm like, I provided value. I gave him something in real life that benefited his life, that he could do, that could stop him from feeling a struggle. And it made him like me more. Coffee is so fucking good, dude. So yeah, I think that's everything. You need to be able to provide value to people. And it doesn't mean that it's fake. It doesn't mean you ask someone how their day is because you heard that it's good and it creates friendships. That doesn't mean you're looking for where you can give value. At some point, you'll just do it. Never think of the word value in your head when actually in the situation of relationships, when actually in the situation of friendships, or actually in the social circle or social setting. Think of it when being logistical about it, when thinking in a logical frame. Because relationships, friendships, it's almost entirely emotion. People be like, no, because guys, like, we can just be like, rah, 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 rah. No, because guys, when they get into an argument or into a fight, whatever, they're just not really upset anymore. Like, girls are completely different. Guys will be like, you crashed my car, I'm pissed off at you. But then, like, once the dude pays for it, it's, like, completely fine. With a woman, it would have to be, like, tons of talking and, oh, I don't know if I could trust you again, or this or that or whatever. With guys, the conversation would be like, hey, bro, I know I crashed your truck. Can I drive it? And the guy would either say, yes, I still trust you because you paid it back and I know you won't do it again, or he'll just say, fuck no. And then the other guy fucking agrees. Guys and girls are different, so you have to look at it from like a different frame. I'm talking mostly about guys because I don't really like believe in being friends with girls. I think that you should I think you should have a circle of people around you that are women and I guess like the opposite gender or whatever. You should find your partner, and then you should slowly close off to the others. Now, if you have very, very long-time friends of years or months or whatever, and everything's been completely appropriate, everything's been fine, you trust this person, I'm not saying that, but I just think it's weird when somebody's in a relationship and they have, like, guy friends or girlfriends, and they're the opposite gender. Like, that's fucking strange to me. Anyways, moving on, you need to be able to provide value to people, and you can't look in the moment of logistics. You need to think, how can I help this person? How can I serve this person? How can I make their life easier? One of my favorite things to say or think in my head with my coworkers, with my friends, whatever, is think, how can I make your life easier? And if I can make your life easier, that doesn't mean you have to trust me more. That doesn't mean you have to like me more. That doesn't mean you have to give to me more, whatever. But it does mean the likelihood goes up. And if the likelihood of you liking me goes up, and the likelihood of you enjoying my presence goes up, and the likelihood of you wanting to give to me goes up, and the likelihood of you wanting to make my life easier goes up, the chances are higher. I'm not saying things will happen, and I'm not saying they will happen now. It might take 10, 20 times. It might take a couple of years for somebody to open up to you and want to be a good person towards you because they're just like dead inside and they don't really care, and then they have one realization that you've been the person who always been there for them. Again, I'm not saying that it's going to be instant or it's going to be fast or whatever. What I am saying is that the likelihood goes up, and the chances of you being able to have good friendships, good relationships, good partnerships, whatever, even when it comes to like warming up clients for sales, I've noticed the reason why I'm able to look at this so logistically is because of the very, very limited experience that I have with that. And in short, all of these things put together just increases your likelihood of having better relationships. Subscribe if you want to. Comment if you have any questions or concerns, whatever, that'd be cool. And yeah, my name's been Brandon. Keep doing the best, doing your best. Trust God. This is fucking muscle memory from my other channel, Jesus. Trust God. Signing off.